Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. And I've heard a lot about free speech from the Conservatives. And I'd like to ask, do you think that these social media platforms are a place of free speech? And I'll point to the situation on May 5th, Red Dress Day, to commemorate missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls across this country. And hundreds, if not thousands, of posts were removed by Instagram and Facebook from people who were expressing their sorrow and their rage and their loss of family, friends, and loved ones to this tragedy in our country. And I would like to ask, do you think that this is freedom of speech, that this is a democratic space when we have these platforms removing this kind of content in this country?
The Honourable Member for Calgary Centre.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. And that is a very, very good question. And I thoroughly agree with my colleague there. And what we have to do as far as looking at who is actually policing the web here, because if the government's policing it, if it's policed through algorithms, it's all somebody limiting our freedom of expression. And that limit to freedom of expression should not be compounded with this legislation. We acknowledge that there are all kinds of tools used by social media giants that we have to get check on. But putting more check in the hands of government, which is usually a pretty inefficient operator here, does not seem to me like a very viable solution to the lack of democratic representation that my colleague seems to think is being constrained on the internet right now. And as I said, I would agree with him in several respects of content that was somewhat censored and not put up in the proper way. We do need to find a way through that, but I would say that going to government to make that solution so that they can be that arbiter is not the solution.